Hey now, boys and girls, it's time for the last one of the season. Hey, welcome into the original live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free Sharks podcast. That is the Pucknologists, here to wrap up, well, the week and the season of Sharks hockey, part of Teal Town, USA. Do that like and subscribe thing. Leave your takes in the comments section if you're not with us live in the super chat. And oh my, what had happened was the Sharks finished 0-1 this season. It felt like yes. Losing in overtime to Vancouver before finishing the season at home, getting shut out by Edmonton. Sharks finished with 20 wins on the season, one better than the previous. Macklin Celebrini became the second Shark in history to score both the first and last goal of a season following Patrick Marleau. Oh, we got so much more to get into, but I think it's time to bring on our special guest. And as you can see right there, Macklin Celebrini. How's it going, buddy? Oh, wait a minute. Let me switch the camera. There he is.
Hey now?
Hey now.
I can't see like the whole program, so I'll just assume that I'm on right now, right?
Yes, sir.
We're on? Okay, we're talking to people?
It's happening.
We're here. Wow. What a season it was, though, right? I mean, it obviously started in a rut. It ended in a rut. And I feel like if you're 1,000 miles away just looking at the box scores of this team, maybe you don't understand that they actually did take some steps forward. And they are different than they were now 2 regular seasons ago, or last regular season, whatever, however you want to say it. I think it's tangible. And let me just start off our quick conversation by saying, AJ, that how many times have you seen a 32nd place team have a team barbecue like at Tyler Toffoli's house? And the majority of the gang is there with wives and girlfriends and smiles on their faces and kids and everything. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something cooking here, literally and figuratively.
Campaigning for the captaincy already?
Who, me?
Toffoli?
Oh, me? Come on, I'm trying to shoehorn myself in. Well, no, I mean, we can get into that. I mean,
but that's some leader type stuff.
Oh yeah. No, there's like 4. I think there's 4 legitimate options for the captaincy. And
okay, I'm going to disagree with you, but go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, legitimate ones we can talk about. I think there's ones that are way more probable than others, right? One option is to have no captain, continue that mode. I mean, continue in not having a captain on the ice, but don't even have a C anymore. Have 4 A's, right? You could do that.
I don't like that.
You could give it to Tyler Toffoli right now and say, all right, as much as we know eventually someday there's a younger group of leaders, you're it right now. You're a Stanley Cup champion. You're a 30-goal scorer. When the game is on the line at the very end, you're taking your shifts in the final 2 minutes, a couple of them, no doubt. I think, there's also an idea that, hey, if you're going to give it to Macklin eventually, what's stopping you now? But I also realize that he is still, as of today, 18 years old. I think that's a little bit too early. And I think there's a 4th option, which is, I don't know who the Sharks might acquire in free agency here. Like they've got more money to spend to get to the floor than we've ever had with like a cap issue. This is almost like a floor, not issue, but it's a floor situation. My point is, you never know when a Rob Blake type comes along and you say, all right, for now, for the next year or 2 or whatever, here's a captain that we could use. But again, those are all 4 different options. I think what's best is to just let it simmer. I mean, you're never going to get any inclination until at least September. And even then, whatever they do, I think they'll do it Todd McClellan style. Reveal it the eve of opening night. Here's what we're doing. So
you're one of the few that did not mention Mario Ferraro in that list.
Give it to an existing player. I only worry about Mario's contractual status. That's not his fault. Right. Nope. That's just the nature. So Tyler's an easy one because, well, 2 things: Stanley Cup champion, definite leader, has come in and shown that he is just like 73 and 38 are very much alike. But the point is that Mario, as of right now, just isn't assured being there for multiple more years. And you just don't know about that part. That's all. It's nothing personal.
And he's been in trade talks. So,
and that, again, so this has nothing to do with him, nothing to do with anything he wants or is as a player. It's literally the contractual situation. If you told me right now he was on the books for 4 more years, I would say throw him in that same Toffoli conversation.
yeah.
So
what else stuck out for you? I mean, there's obvious, Will Smith taking a little time to marinate before he started to get comfortable, and then arguably after the calendar switched to 2025, potentially the best player on the team. You obviously have the ascension of Macklin Celebrini. You have Toffoli leading the team, doing sleepovers. But
I don't know. Randy and Drew had a couple of sleepovers that nobody's talking about here, which I don't know why that's not equally documented. I mean, Randy had a good call. Drew made some good comments, and so they're like, "Hey, let's celebrate with milk and cookies." And they, I don't know. Nobody cares about that, I guess. So,
well, and we saw Mike Grier, get paid to take Wallman, and then trade. I mean, how does that even work?
And I gotta say, of the 2 trades that probably surprised me most were Wallman and Granlund.
I thought you were going to say Wallman and then the other Wallman trade.
Getting Wallman. Wait, we're giving the Red Wings nothing for that? No, and Jake Wallman, I really liked him, and I thought he would fit into the next wave. I just think what was offered in return is exactly what Mike Grier would say yes to, and so that is as simple as that. And actually, I take it back. Granlund's not so much a shock. Zetterlund was the one where you're like, wait, you fit the profile of the next couple years. I totally take back what I just said. That was more along the lines of what I was thinking. And I just think looking back at the year that was, it kind of reaffirms to me what Mike Grier said at the deadline, is that, okay, we're basically done doing that thing. We love the idea of high draft picks, but now we need to move this thing forward because we can't simmer in this forever. It kind of messes with your culture. It messes with your vibe to be constantly cutting back, taking away. I mean, look, the way the Sharks started this season was rough out of the gate, but the way they finished, I mean, it was a depleted team in terms of injuries, but also you traded pretty much everybody that was most productive. A Granlund, Cody Ceci was one of your time on ice leaders.
Blackwood.
Yeah, I mean, Mackenzie Blackwood was a person who kept you in games, and in conversations of games. So I think the point is the fact that they survived all that and still had a good feeling about the ending and a smile on their faces. And yeah, a bunch of high draft picks. I want to throw in. You were mentioning all the players that stood out. I think William Eklund this year took the biggest strides he ever has in the NHL. And it's hard to say, right? The first 2 years were like 8 games and 9 games. And then last year, a full season. But this full season and playing with Will and Macklin, that had to be like hitting the afterburners for him to know that, like, okay, the reinforcements are here. And the young group that's supposed to surround me, because he's been there a while, right? They're finally here. Now things are finally starting to happen. So yeah, I think 72 was energized.
But he was tilted after that Zetterlund move.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's, you know what? I will say this. That's like the first time you as a player get traded as a pro. I think there's no preparation for that. And especially this was his friend getting traded, right? But I also think that that's the first time he's gone through anybody that close to him getting traded like as a pro, where it happens like that. And in his case, it's like the team that drafts you. I'll be with them forever. They're loyal to me. I'll be loyal to them. And then one day they come to you and say, pack your bags. It's a hard feeling, right?
Chinese, buddy.
Well, no, it's one of those situations where you should be typically in these situations, you should be honored that somebody else gave up something to get you. But it is that feeling of like, you're shipping me out. So I get it. No, I understand. You know what?
He felt like he was part of the plan.
He got over that, and you know what? I think he's allowed to be pissed off for a week. Really, honestly.
Absolutely.
I think we've all had people that we like at work that are no longer around, or they make a move, or they get a move made on them, and you're like, well, that kind of stinks, and it's a bummer for a while. So.
Well, I mean, we've gone from peas and carrots to milk and cookies.
It's funny. I interviewed Tommy Wingles. You mentioned that, and I cannot believe when I was editing it later, I was like, what an idiot I am. I did not even throw in a Tomas Hertl question for Tommy Wingles. So,
Really?
like, I felt bad. Yeah. How did I not do that?
um,
So,
we obviously at the beginning of the week. I mean, you were the king of the owner, I believe, of Logan Couture fanclub.com.
oh, I think I actually let it
Did
lapse
you let
too.
that? All right.
Sorry about that.
Well, I mean, your just overarching thoughts, because obviously this is a guy that you're huge fan of. You
Yeah.
hate to see a player leave the sport in this way.
Yeah. You know what? Couple things. I obviously had an inclination that we would be finding out this news ahead of time. And of course, I, like a lot of people now internally in the organization, knew pretty well in advance, did the interview with him in advance of his press conference, which was that Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Hmm.
And, one of the things that stood out to me is when I, in September of last year, had to make my own personal work announcement that caught a lot of people off guard and this and that. And there was a lot of feedback. I do have to tell you that among the many, I mean, just responses and text messages, but Logan was one of the first people to text me. And I went back and looked at what he said. I scrolled back to it. I mean, it was like 2 long paragraphs and heartfelt and straight to the point. And I was like, wow, this guy, at one of my toughest moments, like career wise, he took the time to, send me a message and some true thoughts and really really appreciated it. It's like literally something at the end of my career I'll want to like frame what he said.
Well, and
Um,
during a very tough time during his career.
well, and he was going through it too. And so, when I saw him opening night, but this is before I was officially working with the team, or can't remember if we had even agreed to things yet, but we chatted a little bit about it, and I could tell it was rough on him and it was weighing on him, emotionally. But my point in telling you that is that when I was driving down there that day, I couldn't help myself but get emotional and thinking like, of course I'm gonna, I had already done my work surrounding the interview for him and all the other stuff we'd prepared. But I just felt like I needed to be there for that press conference with all the other Sharks, team employees, team staff. The whole team was there and stayed there even when he tried to dismiss them. And I thought his comments, and how should I say this nicely? And I don't care if he sees this. Like, he's an okay speaker, right? Like, he'll tell you, like, he doesn't like speaking. He doesn't like talking. His delivery was tremendous.
Yep.
It's hard in those moments when all those faces are looking right at you. This is easy. Me looking into a lens and there's nobody I can't see eyeballs looking back at me.
Nobody there. Appreciate it.
He crushed the comments. No, I mean, there's no physical bodies,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
The stream is probably up to like 80,000 views right now.
Sure.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, he was masterful in that delivery. So, like, I feel terrible for him that he didn't have a choice, but I also feel like he explored every option. There's no second guessing this. 10 years down the road, he's not going to say, what if I tried this? He's tried everything.
Yeah.
He's honestly just watching him get around, and I'm not breaking any news here. If you just watch him walk around these days, he's pretty ginger. He's it still affects him. And I think he thought about the rest of his life and not wanting to risk anything.
Wanting to
even
be able to
worse.
play with your kids.
Yeah, but I mean, even right now, there's no chance of him even putting on skate. Like, if I was like, hey, Logan, honestly, right now, I might be able to go stride for stride with him in 3 laps around the rink. You know what I'm saying? And like public skate, like that. That's like a truthful assessment. Just me, sizing him up and how he's feeling. And he said getting out of bed was tough. I mean, in recent months. So I wish him the best. He was 60 something games shy of 1,000. I wish he would have got that. I wish he would have got a handful more years in the playoffs.
It's such a playoff performer.
He was so good. I mean, literally I think it was up to 2019. It was like Crosby, Couture, and Ovi in playoff goals from like a 08 to, 08 or 09 to 2019. Yeah. So like a 10-year span of just playoff goals. No, I mean, it's amazing. It's like some things that have happened personally for me and work-wise personally, where you realize that happened way too fast. His career, for me, and observing it, I remember his rookie season. It was my rookie season. Happened way too fast that now he's done. So,
well, I mean, it's a season that you hope everybody learned from. Like you said with Grier, he wants to now be in that space of, all right, we're starting to go upwards now. We're not going to stay flatlined anymore. The thing that makes me curious, though,
Mm-hmm.
say the Sharks get the number 1 overall pick again.
Can I stop you right there?
Sure.
So I haven't tweeted this out yet.
Uh-oh, breaking
But
news.
I do want to say it in a recorded space. And if we have to come back to this conversation, you and I will replay this conversation, whatever. First week of May, whenever the draft lottery officially is and whenever we know. I'm going to tell you right now,
Hoping for Cinco de Mayo.
I've got a real good feeling the Sharks are going to get the number 1 pick again.
You're going to black IP this?
I'm just saying it right here, right now. I've got that instinct. And if it doesn't happen, we'll delete this, right? We could just scrub this off the internet. Never happened. But if it happens, I want to point back to Easter Sunday, 4/20, and say that was the day. And I'm sober as a gopher. I'm saying right now, I have a weird feeling in my stomach, like if it can happen to Edmonton, it can happen to
Right.
San Jose. Just twice. We're not saying 5 years in a row, just twice. It can happen. It's not the greatest odds. We know that 20-something%. And you're guaranteed a top 3, so it's always going to be something good. But first versus third, I think especially maybe 2 of the top players out there, best forward, best D, it's going to make a difference. So I have a weird feeling they might get the first pick again.
But we did hear Grier say that people were throwing, Ricky Williams type trade ideas towards
Now,
him.
wait a second. I was in the back of that room when that conversation was happening. I was not standing in the scrum, but I was Drew Remendaing that one. That's what Drew does. Drew's not media, right? He and I, we just stand in the back and just
Take it
kick
all
each other, elbow each other, whisper each other the questions we would say. Yeah, I think Grierzy was just having some fun with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the questions were asked like, hey, but like last year, did you ever consider giving up number 1? He's like, yeah, no, not for a second. And they're like, well, would you do it this year? And he's like,
well, there is no Celebrini type player this year.
Yeah.
But why would somebody Ricky Williams?
Schaefer, you know what I'm saying? I think he's just floating it out there to keep the fun going, right? Because what are you going to say? If you say no, some people are going to truly believe that. He's just kind of like letting it linger. He's letting the flag fly a little bit. He doesn't mean he's has any real thought about that. But I think he just wanted to say I would never close out any thought.
All right. Well, before we let you go, I just want to.
You're letting me go already?
Well, we have to get Ian on here.
I'm messing with you.
How's the new gig been so far? Has it been everything you expected?
Yeah, it's,
any surprises?
I feel like first off, I mean, I
is the president a micromanager?
Why don't we do my performance review? I think we do. I think we do those. I don't know. Well, let's do it on one of your shows.
Absolutely.
And actually, you can moderate my performance review.
Hell yeah.
Actually, and then just do Drew's right after that. Randy, we don't need, that's goat material. But
yeah,
Drew, we got to check him. I think first off, there's a couple things that I get the waves of appreciation. Like I look back and at points of this season saying, all right, this is year 16 for me of covering the team. And it almost didn't happen. Right. And there were a lot of other opportunities and things I could have done. And I'm so glad. I feel like 2 things. I made the absolute right decision in what I pursued, but so thankful that the Sharks made this an opportunity for me, created the job, created the role,
took a chance on an unknown.
So, well, no, but that helped. I hope that helped them make the decision. And you know what? The fans and everybody's supporting the videos and the work I was doing. I mean, I appreciate that they were clicking on it because I don't want to do work for nothing. I want it to be appreciated, but they also let me and the team know that they were out there watching and that they appreciated it too. So number 1 was just the wave that I still have of all these feelings of gratitude and I can't believe that how well they took care of me. So I'm in payback mode. I'm trying to do everything I can to confirm the move that they made to bring me back on or just bring me on. And the other part about it is it's always hard for me to say, I'm so excited about it. That's out of the question. But when I had been doing kind of one thing, one routine for 16 years, anything's going to be instantly different, right? Just the faces I work with or the expectations or the work procedure and the process. So I'm still trying to hone in optimizing what I do, what's the best things we do, all that stuff. So I do feel a little bit fish out of water sometimes, but not in the work, like not in covering the team, not in who to talk to, not in that, but it's actually like when after I do something, it's like let's actually evaluate this more. Was that the right one? Is that the right thing to do? The right way to do it? It's just different work, and it's not greatly different work. It's just a little bit different. So, I think the only part for me is, and it's good to feel uncomfortable sometimes. Like you got to recalibrate. Gives you a new challenge. So I think that's kind of where I'm at. Clearly love it. Clearly just, couldn't be happier getting the chance to continue to do it. But I'm feeling like I'm speaking a little bit of a new language sometime, or a new dialect sometimes in all this. And but that will become second nature, I hope, sooner than later. And it's just part of the transition. So overall, can't say enough good things about, how they've treated me. And, if anybody looks at the Sharks and they say, well, they're struggling the last 5-6 years. Oh, that is true, but it's not a lack of trying, and it's not a lack of doing what they think are the right things. And like, I hope them showing me this this opportunity is a reminder to people of like how good of humans they are at 525 West Santa Clara. What's our address again? Is that right? Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
I don't even know where I work. I just go to the tank.
Well, so what do you got planned? If you can share anything, is there anything planned in the pipeline between now and obviously when camp begins? I'm sure you're going to ramp everything up, but between now and then, there's obviously going to be the draft selection, and then if they get first overall, I'm assuming you're going to be doing something at the live draft party. But anything else? When can we get shopping for cars with Timo and stuff like that? When do we get back to some shark fights?
So I'm trying to organize two parts about it. I'm trying to organize the schedule from now until at least like development camp, which is going to be the first couple of days
June,
of end of June,
yeah,
beginning of July, right?
Yeah.
So right after the draft. We know that the draft. I mean, I can kind of pace this out. I've got a week full of interviews with players. I've got a couple more from the Barracuda. Obviously, I'm throwing them in the conversation too. I'm hoping that they can give us a little playoff run into May and a little bit whatever. However far they can go. I'd love to throw some more content as part of my mix, but I'm kind of planning on it just in case they don't, so that I have pretty much 5 days a week. I was going 7 days a week from January until basically today. Might have been the first day without scheduled content since January like 4th or whatever. So we're going to go like 5. I think we're going to go 5 days a week now, but I've got a round of player interviews. I've got a round of content creator and podcast series. So Teal Town, you and Eric are going to be on, I think. I'll record it soon, but then have it out after that.
Mm-hmm.
Have another one with outside media, those covering, the NHL as a whole. What do they think of the Sharks? What do they think of other situations? I've got a broadcaster series. We've already recorded our Return to the Cow Palace series. Randy, Drew, Ruzi, and I went to the Cow Palace maybe about a couple weeks ago. So that's all shot. That's in the can. I've got several other weeks full of features and things that we're doing. And I hope people will like it. We're going to shell all that out when we can. But yeah, draft lottery, draft itself, development camp, free agency opening up, the Worlds. Obviously, that's going to be a huge deal with Warsofsky there and Eklund there and Macklin there. And so, some Sharks angles to take away from that too. So I was a little not worried, but I was curious, like, okay, what does the offseason bring? Number one, I got to make it an offseason. I got to like tone it down a little bit. But number two, I didn't want to have the content run dry. So I don't think we're going to have that problem.
Well, I feel like it gives you a good amount of time to, I don't know, maybe join your friends over at Last Dive Bar and, shoot an easy target over the offseason.
Join them and do what? What do you
just hashtag FJF, just have fun with it, whatever.
You know what I got? I'm going to tell you the side gig that I just work on whenever I have time is the YouTube channel. And that thing has been cooking, man. And I'll tell you, for as much as, a young person will come to me and say, how do I get a job in TV? I'm thinking, well, TV's good. And that's still it's a big legacy media that's out there. And then I show them some YouTube stats. I'm like, how would you like to have a video that 500,000 people just watched? Like I had one 2 weeks ago, or, 20, 30,000 at a time. Like if you do it right on YouTube, that's the opportunity of YouTube, and it lasts forever. It's a worldwide audience, a global audience. So,
well, and I think there's more former KNBR and game hosts on YouTube than hosts are on the current stations.
I just, but I'll say this. I know what you're saying. And I think they're all doing the right thing by transitioning. What I appreciate about it is that it gives me total control. I pick something I want to do. I make all the graphics. I, lay out the video how I want to do it. I set up this entire home studio exactly how I want. I mean, it's ready to go at the push of like 3 buttons. So I just I like the fact that I can control it, and I have a background in all of this. So I didn't need to learn how to set up the camera, how to make all this stuff work. It's just that's second nature. Really the hard part is, okay, how do I make something engaging on a daily basis and, put it out there?
Well, and I should share that you literally just put out a video this week that talks about how your home studio came to fruition. And
thank you for subscribing, I suppose. Or now, do you have the bell clicked or not? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, yeah.
No, you should not.
You know what? I'm gonna unclick that bell until I get a wrench. When do I get to be a moderator?
Oh, see, I didn't even know. I did not understand the wrench reference.
Yeah,
I was like,
no, I need the blue wrench, buddy.
What do you want to moderate? There's nothing to moderate on my channel.
Yeah, but Felix feels like he's better than me.
And, because I did. You know what? Felix is a legacy wrencher. He's when I was doing the Sharks post game live streams, I honestly needed some people in there to help.
Yeah.
Kind of moderate the chat, and if there was something that got out of control. I don't do the live streaming as much, so I guess I just don't need that as much. But no, it's just YouTube's fun. And look, I had a great time working in TV for a long time, and who knows if I'll ever go back to anything similar. I don't know. I can't say. But I just know that finding this and exploring YouTube as it has come to be in the last several years for me, it's a huge revelation. It's a huge exploration and discovery and all that stuff. So it's coming around. And I will say that if there wasn't an audience on there, or if there weren't a lot of people out there watching it, it wouldn't feel like the same reward. And you never do it to say, "Ooh, look how many views that got." What you want out of it is to say, I put a lot of hard work into a video, and I just want to know that to some degree, whether it's 3,000 people, 30,000 people, 300,000 people, whatever, just a satisfying amount of people saw it, and you're rewarded by the hard work. You feel like there's some feedback. Numbers specifically, honestly, don't matter. If you're going and growing, that's the most important thing.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us on an Easter Sunday.
Pleasure.
It's a lot of fun. I feel like I'll be talking to you soon.
I believe we're on the schedule tomorrow to record, and I want to let Eric talk more this time. I want you to try and give me one sentence at a time. I feel like Puck Guy.
I'll do what I can.
Let's let Puck Guy shine. Let's let him be the main character. In fact, let's let him host it. Actually.
Hey, that's fine. No problems with that.
I appreciate it, and I wish Teal Town all the best. You know that you guys are among the OGs, and everybody involved. It's not just you two, but I just think being a part of the
OGs, we are the OGs.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying just being part of the community of creators, and it's important to have people that stick with it even through the last 5-6 years, like you all have. That's tune-out period. That's like when people say, "Oh, I lost interest. I'm not getting the clicks I want to," but there you are.
This is
pretty
our
much
10th
after
year.
every game.
This is our 10th year.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and Mitya coming in just to say goodbye to you with the super chat. Thank you. He says, "Hi, Brody. Great to see you." So thank you, Mitya, for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was it? I can't see the screen. Was it like $500 or what was it?
1,900.
Oh
no, I'm sorry, 1999.
Hey, I was okay. That's more than that's about $19 more than we deserve. To be honest with you, you're like 99 cents right now.
You're not wrong.
Cool,
all right,
man.
buddy.
Appreciate you, AJ.
Appreciate you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you.
Ciao. All right. You know him, you love him. That's the one and only Brody Brazil, and we're going to try to get my man Ian up in this piece. I apologize for the Skype noises, but it is what it is. That's how we have to make it work here. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Oh, that was cool. Let's see if we can't. Oh, man. What? There we go. All right. I'm telling you, technology some days. It's silly. Oh, my gosh. See, even that's not working. Oh, boy. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see if we can't get him in here. Oh, there he goes. We got old One Eye there. Let's see if we can't fix that. There we go. All right. So I'm telling you, sometimes you log into this thing and all of a sudden, for some reason, it says, "Nope, we want the camera to be this big." I don't know why.
Yes.
All right. So
I mean, people say I do not have nice eyes, so it was nice we had to show those off.
Well, oh, there you go. Jump scare. Nice. So, again, thanks to our director of vibes over here, assistant director of vibes, Brody Brazil. Appreciate him joining. And now we got Ian in the house. Let's knock this out. What a horrible week.
Yeah, now that we got all the nice talk out of the way, I'm here to just crap on everything.
Yeah. Again, I'm getting over something, so apologies for the coughing and everything. Right. We got Sharks at Vancouver finishing their road games 2-1 overtime loss. And I mean, okay, now the one thing I did want to call out, because I wrote it down because I was a little tilted. During the game, Hahn and Remenda compared Celebrini and Smith to Taze and Kane. And I was like, I did that 2 months ago and I caught shit for it.
I've done that multiple times. Because I didn't give you shit for it. I just asked.
No, not you.
You did. Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, because I remember we had this conversation, and my response was like, I thought it was more in the sense of like, are the Sharks in a similar spot to that Blackhawks team? And I'm like, okay, well, where's Hossa? Where's Keith? Where's Seabrook?
I may have phrased it incorrectly. There you go.
Right. So I remember kind of giving you balls on that, but I mean, I've made the comparison, the Taze Kane comparison too, as well.
And a Falcon coming in saying, Ian and AJ will give us the pessimistic takes Brody is unable to. Oh, man. All right. So in this one, Celebrini gets the snipe on the power play, takes back the rookie scoring lead, and then former Shark, Linus Karlsson, scores possibly the softest goal of the season.
In the history of
goals. Dude. And the funny thing is that aside from that, Georgiev was actually not bad, just got no offensive support. And it's the 37th one-goal loss of the season? Ooh.
Something silly like that. But I agree, though. I think it's good that you brought that up. I thought Georgiev was fine this game. Again, like, I thought it was fine. Like, it was an okay game. I mean, I watched a worse game today.
You're right. And it's weird. All the Vancouver wins over San Jose this season by 1 goal. It just goes to show. And granted, tons of injuries to deal with. Not their worst game of the season, but they did look happy that it was over. Like the season's almost over, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, though, too? Like, I always get really nervous about the team that starts just ripping wins off once, like, everything's kind of settled.
Yeah, and shit doesn't matter.
Right. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just glad the season's over at this point. Like,
well, it would finally end mercifully in San Jose versus Edmonton. It's just amazing to me how the big team and the little team kind of have a lot in common in the fact that their last home game was a shutout loss. Their last game of the season was a shutout loss. Like the Sharks and the Cuda got some shit in common, but this one, the Sharks would finish an 11-game losing streak to close out the season. Not only the
That's not fun.
Yeah. So
I was told this team was fun.
And to see former Shark Ty Emberson open the scoring, also assisting on the second goal. And then, speaking of helpers, the secondary assist on what turned out to be the game winner came from Jeff Skinner, that guy who won the Calder instead of Logan, who was in, he was, Couture was in the house during that game because he had announced he was stepping away the day before. We'll get to that in a minute. But, and then of all people to score the final goal of the season against the Sharks, Corey fucking Perry.
Yeah. I mean, it's so Sharks. But again, you know what? I want to say again, Georgiev gets a start here, and I thought he was fine again. Like, I thought the player that maybe I didn't want to finish the season strong because I just, again, like we'll get into it. But, I mean, I guess it's good that he finished the season strong, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like the one player you kind of like. I want to see other players finish the season a little stronger, but Georgiev was apparently that guy.
Well, anything more from this week's games before we move on?
No, I mean, like, what's there to really say, right? I mean, against the Oilers, they kind of look at the Oilers are a team that's going to the playoffs. They're probably going to do well in the first round. They've got the best player in the world, in my view. Like, that's just a game where that's what you expect from a game like that, right? Yeah. It's a team going into the playoffs, and it's a team that's not going to the playoffs, and they ended pretty much the way you'd expect it to.
So last week, or should say last Tuesday, you heard Brody and I talk about it a little bit, was Logan Couture officially announcing that he was stepping away. And, I just thought it was funny because last week we actually featured Logan in the thumbnail because I had said, it's like, he hasn't been seen at Sharks Ice. He missed the team photo. There was the whole Instagram nonsense thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I said the Sharks and Logan should address the media. And the next day, bam!
It's even better is I was like, well, Gabriel Landeskog's going to play for the first time in 3 years. So never say never. Not that I thought that Logan Couture was going to come back, but I just, until they said something, right? Like, it's like, never say never. Because I don't want to like, it was looking like it was obviously like going this way. He hadn't skated all year because obviously, like, if he had been on the ice at any point this year, like, that would have been pretty big news. No one reported it. So, I mean, this is the way we thought it was going to go, but it is funny that it was after. I'm like, well, never say never. Look, Dave Landeskog's going to play after 3 years. And yeah, you're an idiot, Ian.
Well, and the other thing is that, these things are planned in advance. So, this has been in the works. Brody even said, it's like, oh, I interviewed Couture, like a week or so ago. So this has been in the works, but hot damn if I didn't nail it. I'm just saying. And the other thing, though, is it wasn't a surprising announcement. Like, I don't know how many times I've said on here that I thought Couture was done due to injury. And
I mean, he wasn't skating. Like, I mean, it's really hard to get back on the ice if you're not on the ice.
Yeah, but just, I don't know, when the press conference was first announced, and then Sarah Valley catches a bunch of shit for saying that, it's going to be retirement or whatever. And some people were giving Sarah Valley shit saying, oh, Logan should be able to announce it or whatever. And it's like, what else could it be? Like, give me a break.
Yeah, I do get it, and I think it's just like people don't like Frank Saravalli, and I kind of get it. But that's it, right? It's like if it was like Elliot Friedman, they'd be like, "Oh, well, thanks, Elliot. Thanks for the news." And then, no, it's fucking Frank Saravalli. Fuck that guy. Which I get it.
Yeah, but my point being is that, like, literally, we could have said Logan will be announced, because what else is it?
Well, what else is it, right? Like, he's coming back, guys. He's coming back for the playoffs.
Yeah, he's coming back despite not being on the ice for a year and a half.
Coming back for the Barracuda playoffs. That's what's happening here. Like, come on.
And I gotta say, dude, I'm kind of disappointed in the local scribes in the media here. Not one person asked him about the whole Instagram thing after they had gotten well, not all of them, but some of them had gotten some decent clickbait content, and then they don't even ask. Come on. But now that the Couture,
I'm fine with it. Like, I think it's
at least
stupid. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, some of them probably made nice articles about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, so at least follow up.
Yeah.
But now the Couture-driven clickbait isn't about his Insta; it's about who should get the C. And I'm sorry, the only right answer is Toffoli.
You're wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
It's Macklin Celebrini.
No, you're wrong.
No, I'm not. It's gonna be his fucking team.
Eventually.
Yeah, no, it's already his team, dude. Like, he is the centerpiece of this whole thing. We could do that, right? And we can have, we can do like patty cake fucking C's like they did the 1 year before they finally gave it to Marlowe. But like,
no, I really don't want
San Jose Sharks need to just like pick a captain and go. And to me, it's Macklin Celebrini. He is going to be here from now until infinity. So just put the C on him because he's the guy.
How old was Crosby when they gave it to him? Was he like 19 or 20?
Yeah.
And what about McDavid?
Connor McDavid was the youngest captain in NHL history.
I still say the answer is Toffoli. And
it's temporary, but like, I don't know. I just think if you know what I mean, like he's gonna be the captain at some point. Why are we pussyfooting around?
Okay. And for those who keep bringing up Ferraro, stop. Just stop. And I heard one person bring up Goodrow, and I was like, really? Like, he was mad about how he ended up back in San Jose, and statistically, he's like the worst player on the team.
I don't know why we're trying to galaxy brain this shit. like I don't understand why we're trying to galaxy brain this shit. Because again,
we aren't. Like, I'm trying to answer all these people.
I know. But like, I don't understand why we're galaxy braining this. Like, Macklin Celebrini, you see the work ethic, you see the way that he carries himself on the ice. Like, he's gonna be the captain of this team. It's too soon. Why?
Well, let me ask you this. I thought was funny. Grier says he's in no rush to name a new captain, calling it.
Of course not, because we're the San Jose Sharks, and fucking, if there's one thing that we love to do is like jerk around with the captaincy.
But let me finish though.
Okay.
So Grier said he's in no rush to name a new captain, calling it a sacred honor. He also isn't married to the idea of having a captain in place to start the season. So I have several points. First off, sacred honor. What happened to it? It's just a letter. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you had to sell it.
All right. And then I still don't understand why you wouldn't want a captain for game one. Like, do we really need to hear who's your captain chance again?
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, I don't understand why we're gonna do this song and dance again. That, like, it seems like San Jose is like the epicenter of stupid captaincy bullshit.
Well, and my whole thing is like, don't you want to set the tone and culture at the start?
Yes.
So that's why you do it.
This is what I mean. Like, this team, what have we heard for? I mean, we haven't heard it this year, thank God. We finally stopped hearing it, but for fucking 2 years, it was all about we got to reset the culture. We got to reset the culture. We got to set the culture.
Well, that was
the culture.
It was replaced with play the right way.
I'm aware. So, however, like, enough, like, so yeah, exactly. That's why you have to have a captain when you go into the season. It's a new fucking era, new fucking Sharks, new fucking captain. It's easy.
And finally, Grier was saying, he's in no rush to name a new captain. And the first thing that popped in my head is, isn't that Warsofsky's responsibility?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I'm sure the GM does have some, the GM's gonna have some say in that, but ultimately it should be Ryan Warsofsky that decides that. But I think also, but Mike Grier is going to be like, look at Macklin's the guy.
Yeah.
And if you can't see at this point that Macklin's the guy, I can't help you.
Let's hit Darius, who's nice enough to give us a super chat. Thank you. Says, what's up, guys? Happy Easter. At least the Cuda in the playoffs. By the way, AJ, I've been working on that Sharks photo frame I posted a few days ago. Stealth and Califin version on the way. Awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a Sharks Facebook fan page, and Darius has been doing some really cool, like, 3D printed photo frames. And it always just blows me away when I see, like, fans making, like, cooler stuff than you can actually, like, buy in the stores.
Happy Easter to you, Darius.
I dig that. So some of the other things that came, like quotes that came out of Couture's announcement, saying, Couture, there wasn't a specific date. The last game I played, I was in a ton of pain, and I took a look around after the last game just in case. I couldn't get close to putting together a couple comfortable days. The rehab was hard on me last fall, and that was a sign that it might be done. So again, this was something that I think we all knew was coming. And again, you hate to see anybody go out, even the players that you hate. I mean, you might root for something like this to happen to Ryan Reeves or Corey Perry, but still.
I want to hit Falcons. Can you expect 27, 30-year-olds to follow a 18-year-old captain? They have. It's happened a bajillion times, and not just on like on teams that win things. Like, again, Sidney Crosby was named like captain as soon as like humanly possible, pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It happens all the fucking time.
You're either in or in the way.
Yeah.
So, Brightcar, thank you so much for the super chat. Because you play the right way, and I love the show. There you go. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you, bud.
Also coming from Couture, it says, the Sharks gave me every chance to come back. I saw a number of specialists on both coasts. I'm grateful for the patience of the Sharks. Nothing but great things to say about how they handled it. The mental side is tough, like losing in the playoffs. The season ends. You don't know what to do. There are days now that I'm pretty sore. It's a grind. There are tough days, but I'm in a good spot, and I've come to peace with it. So, now, of course, it comes down to, well, what do we see from Logan's future in any way, shape, or form with hockey? And and it seemed to hedge when he was asked about working for the Sharks in a different capacity, but he did tell Brody the plan is to stick around short term.
Mhm.
I don't know how much we want to read into the term, into short term. I'll just assume at least for the next couple of seasons while the Sharks are still paying the bills.
Yeah.
Warsaw, I can't, I never know with Warsaw if he's actually like being honest or not. But he did say, I've already asked Couture about being an assistant. So I don't know if he was joking or if he was truthful. He's been a long time NHLPA rep. I could see him being a player advocate almost.
Yep.
If he wanted to go into that direction. But by not retiring, Couture's $8 million salary cap hit remains on the Sharks' books in each of the next 2 years. Team avoids a costly cap recapture penalty from the NHL. And the Sharks will likely list Couture being on long-term IR for the next 2 seasons.
Why would they be recapture? His season, his thing was fine.
I'm just telling you what Pashelka wrote.
Interesting. I'm confused by that.
All right, you'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
If Jumbo, Patty, and Pavelski are 75% of Mount Rushmore, is Couture your fourth?
He's got to be on there somewhere, man. Yeah, I'd put Couture on there before Burns. I mean, here the thing about Logan Couture again, like maybe one of these things where you probably don't appreciate what you have until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Never, like he was never my favorite Shark, but man, did that guy come up clutch in the playoffs. Like he constant playoff performer. And it sucks that he's gone, right? Like it's like I feel bad for him. I feel horrible for him, really. I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to have something that you've done your entire life. Like, like these guys, they start skating when like they can walk and then they can skate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all they know their entire life. And then to have it end early because your body just betrays you. Like I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. Falcon Strike saying, what about Owen Nolan? Hey, loves me some Owen Nolan. For me, like the first real Shark. Like the first Shark to actually give the team an identity, he still wouldn't be even in the top 5 when it comes to a.
Yeah, I love Owen Nolan, man. I don't know. It's hard, right?
Yeah. And it's,
I have to really, really think about it.
Yeah, that'd have to be one hell of an argument you're going to make to convince me. So there were some videos that were sent in. Obviously, you got T-Mac, DeBoer, Boyle, Blake, Burnsy, Pavs, Hurdle, all sending in videos. Interestingly enough, Doug Wilson sent in a video.
Yep.
I don't remember there being a video for Jumbo or Patty, but it is what it is. But
I'm pretty sure. I don't.
Was there? I
feel like there was, but maybe not. I mean,
I don't think there was.
I thought there was.
I don't know. We'd have to roll that back.
Yeah.
The one thing though, like Wilson, buddy. You're really going to wear a Pens logo in the video?
I mean, that's who that is who he works for.
Yeah, but he didn't have to wear that jacket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway.
What was Hurdle wearing?
Huh? I was going to say Hurdle wasn't wearing a fucking Vegas logo, so I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's, and it's not like I think Ian put it best on Tuesday or Wednesday, where it was like, okay, how much longer are we going to milk this Couture thing for? So I think we can get over that now and move on. And now it's time to milk the Kovalenko cow. So,
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Russian Hockey reports that Kovalenko's father said Nikolai isn't happy with the Sharks and is considering other options. Now, I'm sorry. It's a bad look when your dad comes out and goes, my son is not getting enough ice time.
Can I just say something off the top here?
Yeah, whip it out.
What people have to remember is that like European Russia, like all those areas, they treat their hockey coverage the same way we treat Hollywood celebrity gossip.
It's like the TMZ of hockey.
Yeah, it really is. Like their coverage is very tabloidy, and and while I'm sure Kovalenko isn't happy, right?
Well, the local guys have pretty much confirmed it.
Yes, yeah. So it has been confirmed at least, but I always get nervous about these things because it's like it's because someone grabs something, runs it through fucking Google Translate, and then like, this is it, right? And we're all supposed to just take that at face value. I don't know, man.
Well, Nikolai's dad said, I watch almost all of his games, communicate with him regularly. He's dissatisfied. And, and he said, when he was playing third line in Colorado, well, that was fine because they're a contender and they have a lot of talent, a lot of competition for those top lines. In San Jose, with all due respect, the situation is different. But again, he goes, it is obvious that there are personal sympathies on the part of the coach. So again, Warsofsky is getting called out. And, the whole hates Russians things. And I'm like, well, maybe it's just that he hates Kovalenko.
Yeah, I don't think that he hates Russians. Look why? Because he doesn't play Klim Kostin either. He has 600 Klim Kostins on the fucking line. He hates Russians, but he plays Shakir Mukhamadullin all the minutes, even when at times he probably shouldn't. Like, I don't know, man. I don't buy into this. He's just anti-Russian.
I don't know. It's to me though. It's a little bit of a bad look when something gets said in February, it gets walked back. Oh, it was out of context. Then Warsofsky says, "Oh, it's all about nothing," and then he's healthy scratch for 6 games and only makes it back when the injuries pile up.
There's something there, like obviously, but is it just is it because of his nationality? I don't think so. Like, no, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy this as he just hates Russians and we're just going to take that at face value. Like, I don't, because again, if he hates Russians, then, why is Shakir Mukhamadullin playing the most minutes of any defenseman before he gets hurt?
Yeah. Well,
that,
Kovalenko at this point doesn't want to commit. And it's been weird, the back and forth where, Grier said he can't control if Kovalenko opts to go back to the K, but as of now, Grier is planning to have the winger, pending free agent back in the fall. Grier says there's going to be an evaluation period with that, and I think he's got to be honest with himself and talk to his agent and his circle about what he wants and what he's willing to do. To me, that says, that's Grier saying, buddy, you need to take a look in the mirror and stop listening to your daddy about how fucking great you are. And,
well, not even and that's the thing too, right? And I'm going to say something. It's going to make people angry, but I don't care. I make people angry on the fucking regular on this show. I don't think is there players that he probably should have been playing instead of? Yes. But I don't think Kovalenko's so great that it's this great tragedy that it's been made out to, it's been blown out. Like, this is the greatest tragedy in the history of hockey where we're not playing a Russian Connor McDavid. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And Sleepy with a great comment saying, read that as Kovalenko hasn't bought into the system yet. Yep. I could see that.
Sure.
Totally.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. And look at, if he's trying to say, well, I should be in the top 6, but I mean, who's your top 6?
Exactly.
Like your top 6. So Tyler Toffoli, Macklin Celebrini,
Will Smith, Eklund,
Wenberg, Graf, who I don't know why you can't get into that top 6. Like, Colin Graf's a better player than Kovalenko when he was before he got sent to Barracuda. Like, is it really so? Like, again, is he better than any of those players that I listed off?
Well, maybe he can be if he's willing to buy in. But he shouldn't be I don't think he's okay, it must suck to think I should be a top liner, but really, I just laid it out. Which winger is he better than? Yeah. Of
the ones I listed, none of them.
All right. We move on to Alexandar Georgiev, who have you ever seen a pink slip handed out faster? I mean, they said I think it was about 10 minutes after the game, he was told pack your shit. You ain't coming back. Bye-bye.
That's probably. I mean, he's probably known that for a while, but obviously they're gonna make that official right away.
Yeah, but I mean, good Lord, did that come out? That's the fastest I've ever seen. Like you let it take a day. You know,
Yeah, no.
like, 10 minutes after like jerseys were handed out.
This is the thing that I need to know. Look at for a Sharks fan like me, who just hates this guy with the heat of 1,000 suns. I need to know he's gone as soon as humanly possible. So thank you, Mike Grier.
And you know what's so funny is Georgiev ended the season. We call him Forgiev.
Mhm.
Ended the season with a 4.08, which is just chef's kiss because it's basically 4, just like his name, but it's also 408, the area code of San Jose. Like, it couldn't have just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, look, he came in, he did what he was supposed to do. He was terrible. Thus, the Sharks are terrible. Thus, they have the best odds at first overall. I mean, he did what he was here to do what he intended to do. But I don't. Again, man, I feel like as a human being, I feel bad for the guy. I hope that he can find his game again wherever he goes next. Be that in North America, be that in the KHL. Like, I hope he can find his game again.
Absolutely. But it ain't going to be here. Yeah.
Right.
Muka Madulin had shoulder surgery last week. The night the injury happened, I tweeted out that it looked like it was a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
Not sure why we had to wait for like 3 weeks for that to be confirmed.
Well, because when you're the last place team in the league, you got to keep the other teams guessing.
Whatever.
Teal curtain, baby. Teal curtain.
Should be ready by camp.
Yeah.
And this is something that I glossed over with Brody, but what happens if the Sharks get first overall? Grier would not rule out trading number 1 overall if the Sharks won the lottery. But obviously it would have to be a really good offer of established young guys.
I'm going to tell everyone a little secret. It's Mike Grier's job to listen to all trade offers and then decide if they are good or bad. Of course he's going to fucking listen. That's his job. It's one of these things where it's like it's a mountain out of a molehill. Oh God, he might trade no, he said he would listen.
Yeah.
That's his fucking job.
Calder watch.
Yes.
So it ends up being 63 points over 70 games for Macklin Celebrini. That is 0.90 points per game. Lane Hutson, 66 points. So that's 3 points more, but over 82. So we got 3 points more, but he played 12 more games. That's 0.80 points per game. I'm still saying that I believe Hutson gets it.
Yeah, I think, I could make a really good argument for Macklin Celebrini to win. I think you look at the points totals. I think you look at the quality of competition he has to be. Right, exactly. Like, he had to be the guy, 2 years younger, by the way, on a way worse team, right? And yes, playing defense is hard. And yes, Lane Hutson did a bunch of crazy shit this year. He put up a ton of points, record-breaking stuff.
Got a lot more time on ice.
And and again, and he was a big part of the reason that the Montreal Canadiens are going to be playing in the playoffs tomorrow. Like, that is, as much as that shouldn't matter, as much as that shouldn't make it, you should just be able to look at what they did, what they were surrounded with, whatever. To me, like, if I was voting, I would vote for Macklin Celebrini, just because, again, I think, he wasn't sheltered at all. He's playing toughest minutes against the opponent's best thing. He put up a ton of points in less games. He's going to be the captain of this team. He's going to be the centerpiece of this whole thing when it's over.
Yeah. Falcon Strike in the chat says, give the Calder to Hudson. I want Celebrini to go into next season with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Did we all remember, right, the way that Couture would play whenever Skinner was on the opposing team?
Yeah.
You talk about chip.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, like, it always boils down to, like, it's the best rookie this season, but it's not like if Macklin Celebrini doesn't win, like, his career's over. Right?
Oh, really?
Like,
I had no idea.
It's fine. And I think he'd probably be, I don't know, truth be told, I think he'd be super stoked for his buddy Lane Hutson to win it.
Sure. All right, stock up, stock down. This is This is for the season. It was such a short week and kind of a really
Mhm.
bad one. So for the season, my stock up, I think it's going to be pretty obvious. It's the sleepover group,
Yes.
Celebrini, Smith, and Toffoli. It's who I would call the Lunderful group, all the Lunds, Eklund, Zetterlund, and Granlund, obviously, prior to being traded. But still, for the time that they were here, big impact. And then, of course, Wenberg, who I think quietly got it done. He was a name that you just didn't hear enough.
Wenberg, Wenberg came in and he actually, when I was kind of terrified when Granlund was gone, I'm like, what is going to happen now? Right. Because it's kind of like, we have 1.5 centers. But you know what? I will give Wenberg a lot of credit. I think he answered that question very emphatically.
Yep.
I think, look, I still think this team needs help and they probably need some center depth going into next season. But for what Wenberg brought, I thought he was really good. William Eklund, I thought, had a great season. If you're looking for guys that are, you saw good first steps, obviously by Celebrini and Will Smith, but it's easy to make good first steps. It's harder to build on what you've already done. And to me, William Eklund gets better every year. And obviously, I think Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith are going to do that as well. But we've seen players come in, Trevor Zegras, hot as fire coming out of the gate, and then kind of just go in. And William Eklund gets better every season.
Mm-hmm. Is there anybody else that you would like to acknowledge stock up before we go down?
No, I mean, again, I think the defense was fine. I think that
What?
I like Mukhamadullin. I think when he was healthy, he came in and played some big minutes. They didn't all go the way that you would probably want them to, but I don't think that's. It's hard when this team is this bad to look be good on the blue line. But I thought Mukhamadullin took some steps. Maybe not as big as steps as I wanted him to take, but I thought he took some steps.
All right, stock down. I mean, this is pretty easy for me because I've been saying it all season. Barclay Goodrow, my brother, you led the team with a -37, and I know plus minus doesn't mean a whole lot, but it kind of does when it's really good or if it's really bad. And -37 sucks.
Yeah,
Ty Dellandrea, you were tied for second worst plus minus at -31. But you know who else was -31 this season? Macklin Celebrini. But Macklin posted 63 points, and Ty Dellandrea posted 8. The others, of course, being the power play, which finished 26th at 18.6%. However, the net power play was 15. That is not good. For those of you who are unaware of what's the difference between power play and net power play, they factor in when the team gives up shorties. Mm-hmm. So 15%, that's not good. The PK finished one worse, 27th with 74%, but their net PK was up to 76. But what's funny is that the net dropped them to 29th overall.
Yeah.
And out of those 37 one-goal games this season, imagine what a difference there would have been with one extra goal or one extra save during those special teams moments.
Yeah, I mean, stock down for me is the guy crew. There's a lot of guys in that Goodrow, Dellandrea guy pack.
Grundstrom.
I like Grundstrom. Grundstrom's one of the only guy pack guys that I probably like. I don't know, man. Obviously, look at the goaltending was ass. I can't express enough. I don't care how Georgiev finished the last 2 games. He was awful. And yeah, mission accomplished, but he took the Sharks out of games, and then again, probably by design. So maybe stock up, but there was games where he completely took the Sharks out of it with beach balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the games last year when you had Mackenzie Blackwood in net, there was times where they lost, right? And they lost some stinkers, but I don't know, man. But they didn't lose. Mackenzie Blackwood didn't allow just deflating goals constantly. First shot on goal in over. Like, he has to be in this list.
Mm-hmm.
The guy crew, obviously, because and that's not even their fault. It's not their fault that Mike Grier has too many of these guys, but they're all the guy crews there, man. And other than Grunstrom, who I think is probably one of the only ones that I would keep out of the guy crew, none of them were good.
Rob on the super chat says final grades for him: Grier getting a B, Warsaw getting a C.
Yeah, it's probably.
That's fair.
I guess that's fair. I would think.
Given the talent that he and the fact that they kept taking talent away from him as the season went on, either through trade or injury.
Right. Anyone who dared to be good on this team was sent away very quickly if you weren't a part of the future. So I think like that. Mike Grier keeps saying that now the building starts. So I'm not grading Mike Grier right now because I want to see what the building looks like, because tearing down's easy.
Oh yeah.
Like, the tear down's the easy part. You can tear down forever.
Well,
but I need to see the building. I think he did fine. I think he did some good things this year. I think he got a bunch of draft capital that's going to come in handy going forward that he could use for trade, for draft, whatever. I for the most part, I think he did good. I mean, I have some questions. But I need to see the building now, and that's where I'm going to really start maybe being more critical. Other than the Zetterlund trade, which I'll never not be critical of.
Well, we got basically 2 weeks between now and the draft lottery. Is there anything else we should be talking about before we move on when it comes to the Sharks?
No, I mean, what else is there? I mean, thank God it's over.
Yeah, the best way to look at it. All right. The NHL playoffs have started. I said it at the top of the show. I have been battling some sort of cold. I tested for COVID and it was negative, so I don't know. It's just a bad cold, but I've been down for the count the last couple of days. I have no idea at this point where playoffs are at, but I tweeted, I think on Thursday, what my picks were, because I just wanted to be like, okay, here's my receipt. This is but I haven't even looked at where things are. I'm just going my first round picks.
I did the same. I did tweet out my bracket before the puck dropped for the first game. So
I haven't done a bracket, but I'm just so in the West, I'm taking Winnipeg over St. Louis, and I could give a fuck about how many games.
Okay. Let me see what I have here. I'll tell you what I have.
But you took Winnipeg as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I have Winnipeg in 6.
Okay,
it's probably too many games.
Despite the that run that St. Louis went on to finish the season?
Here's the problem with that. St. Louis, they did go on a run, but they did kind of get cold right before the playoffs started. Like, I would be a little more scared of that, and I probably gave the Blues a little too much credit here by 6 games, because I think that if they had entered the playoffs the way that they had gotten into the playoffs and like kind of kept the momentum going, I think they'd be a little more scary. But they got pretty pedestrian there in the last week or so.
All right. Thank you, Puck Guy. He's coming in here saying Winnipeg up 1-0 on St. Louis. Now, is that 1-0 in the series, or is the game actually happening right now?
No, they played yesterday. They're up 1-0.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Colorado, Dallas. I took Colorado.
Same.
All right. And
I have Colorado in 4. Look at
holy
for
shit,
Dallas.
really?
No, I don't have him in 4. I have him in 7. Sorry. The Colorado, I think they are the better team, especially like I don't think we talk about how, like, there's all this talk about Rantanen this, Rantanen that, but we don't talk nearly enough about how well Marty Necas has filled into that team. Also Dallas, no Jason Robertson week to week. Miro Heiskanen is day to day, but he's is he day to day, or is that just like gamesmanship? I don't know.
Hold on, Puck Guy, slow down. Wait till we get there before posting this stuff, okay?
So like I just think without Miro Heiskanen, I think Dallas just it's not good for them, right? Like Miro Heiskanen's a good defenseman. He chews up a ton of minutes, and I don't like their odds without him.
All right, Minnesota at Vegas. I suck it up and take Vegas, although I'm obviously rooting big time for Minnesota.
Yeah, head says Vegas in 6. Heart would love Minnesota to completely fuck this thing up.
Well, I mean, you want Flower to just come in and destroy his former team, right? I mean, is that not in the script?
I don't
Right?
I don't have a copy.
Is tonight their first game? Because Puck Guy's
Yes.
saying Vegas, Minnesota 1-1 into the first, and Hurdle with the lone Vegas goal.
Yes, correct.
All right. Then of course I have Edmonton at Edmonton is playing at LA, but I took Edmonton in this. Who haven't they won like the 3 previous?
Yeah, they've won the 3 previous things. This is an interesting series because I do think that LA is better. But I can't, like, again, it's McDavid and Draisaitl.
Well, it's
I don't
McDavid
think the Kings have an answer for that.
It's McDavid and Draisaitl, but the thing and I know it really doesn't mean fuck all in the playoffs, but I just want to point it out. LA has home ice, and LA has the best home record, bar none.
Yeah.
They're stupid good at crypto. So it's that's the one thing I kind of go, oh, well, who knows? But I still took Edmonton in that.
Yeah, I need LA's a team where, like, until they do it, I'm not gonna believe them.
Yep, I'm the same. All right, flipping to the other side, Ottawa, Toronto. Of course, I took Toronto.
Same.
Didn't
I
you
took them
say?
in 7.
I was going to say, didn't you? Oh, really? I thought I would have thought you would taken Toronto in 4 just because you were like every game is a home game for Toronto.
You know what the thing, like, yeah, I took it in 7 because I think the thing with, but never underestimate the Leafs' ability to trip on their own dick.
That's fair.
Right. Like,
I mean,
never underestimate their ability. I'm probably being too generous. My heart would love Ottawa to win this series, but they played tonight. It was not pretty. Toronto pretty much had their way with them. 7's probably 2 games too many for the series. Right. But I think, I think ultimately Toronto is the team that's going to come out of this series.
All right. Florida, Tampa. I took Florida in this one. I mean,
I took the Lightning.
Really? Okay. I mean,
yeah.
I think defending champions means something in other sports. I don't know that it means a whole lot in hockey.
I think so. Because I have been on the Cats bandwagon for the past 2 years. The reason I jumped off this season, I think, one, they've played a ton of hockey, and that does matter. That does catch up to you. Tampa Bay quietly, I think, has been one of the quieter stories in the league this year. Vasilevsky's playing like peak Vasilevsky. He's played like peak Vasilevsky most of the year. He doesn't get any attention for it because of Connor Hellebuck. I think one, that the amount of hockey that the Panthers have played is going to catch up to them, and I think Tampa I think this is as good as they've looked in a long time.
All right, so is that the only one we disagree on so far?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, Montreal at Washington. I mean, pretty obvious. I'm taking Washington.
I took the Caps in 5. Montreal is all gas, no brakes, and that just doesn't work in the playoffs.
Then finally, Jersey and Carolina, which might be the I don't know, what seems to be the least interesting matchup of the playoffs from everything I've seen. Evidently, Carolina beat New Jersey. They're up 1-0. Yeah, I took Carolina in this one.
I have the Canes in 5. No Jack Hughes. I know Dougie Hamilton's playing, but I don't know how healthy he actually is. And they, and again, I put this in before the puck drop for the game starting, but now they had, I think, Cody Glass and Luke Hughes go off in the same shift. Like, they're pretty banged up in New Jersey, and I just think Carolina is such a better team. I'm probably too high on the Hurricanes this bracket, because again, I think this is another team that never underestimate their ability to trip over their own dick, but I have them at least going so far. So.
All right. Well, there you got it. The only disagreement we have is Florida and Tampa, so we'll have to keep an eye on that just to see.
What's your final?
Oh shit! I didn't even get that deep.
Okay.
If I have to, let me. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna say Washington loses to Colorado.
I like it. I also have Colorado as my Stanley Cup champion. I have them beating the Lightning.
Oh, there you go. All right, so we're not too far off. All right, let's get to that other team before we get out of here.
Ooh, Barracuda.
Ooh, all right. So, the Cuda, they were so close. After going 1-1 over this weekend, the Cuda will now face Ontario in the first round. So, game one up in Calgary, 8-3 victory. You get Chernyshov gets his first AHL point, assisting on a Cagnoni goal to open the scoring. And after allowing the Wranglers to tie in the middle of the first period, Gushkin would score a power play goal with 16 seconds left in the first, and then the Barracuda would peel off 4 straight goals in the second. Giles gets the game winner. Cagnoni gets first star with 2 points, including 2 goals. Gushkin is the second star with a goal and 2 assists, while Sabrin is your third star, also with a goal and 2 helpers. And Gabe Carriere saves 26 of 29 with Arundel looking on. And had the Barracuda won again earlier today, they would be facing Coachella, but it was not to be, as we said earlier. Both San Jose and, well, I guess I should say both San Jose teams would finish their season by getting shut out. Carriere, a very pedestrian 15 of 19 saves. Oof.
Yeah, but you know what? The team in front of him was kind of trash. Here's the thing, right? And I keep going. They keep making me do this, but I know the story is Askarov is sick. I don't know if I buy it.
What, you think they're just saving him for the playoffs?
No, he's been so in and out to finish the season that I just wonder if we're getting, like, again, maybe I'm just completely out of my mind. He's going to start the playoffs and he's going to be lights out and I'm going to look like an idiot, but I just have questions because, again, the teal curtain is pretty thick in these parts, especially with the Barracuda. I don't know, man. Like, I have questions about Askarov's health at this point because, again, he's just been in and out so often to end the season, out more than in.
Well, I guess we'll find out here.
I have questions.
We'll find out here in a few days.
And again, I don't know anything. I want to emphasize, I don't know anything. I am just an asshole on YouTube. I'm not around the team. I didn't see Askarov having the sniffles. Like Nick Nolenberger says he was ill. Maybe he is. But I have questions because it just makes me a little bit nervous. The game today really annoyed me because this is a team that, if you're looking at like ideal opponent, it's Coachella. Coachella was the ideal opponent for this team. The Ontario Reign is not a good matchup for this team. One, you're going to play all your games in Ontario.
Yep.
Or actually in LA apparently, because
the first 2 at Crypto.
Yeah, the first 2 will be in LA before you can go back to Ontario. I don't know. Like, this whole situation really sucks. They blew a really good opportunity. Again, you have to beat whoever's in front of you, regardless of who you play. But Coachella Valley would have been the better opponent to see them. So to kind of see the effort they kind of put out today is really disappointing, man. Again, it goes back to what I've been saying about this team all year. It's the Jekyll and Hyde Barracuda. They go off and rip an 8-3 win and then come out and they're kind of pedestrian. They're overpassing. They're overthinking. There's so many situations where guys that you want to see shoot. And I understand that, some of these guys, your Musties, your Chernyshovs, they don't want to be like hot dog in it, so they probably gonna think pass more, but I just wish these guys would shoot more, man. Because I just think, again, like, there's a lot of prime shooting opportunities that they didn't take because they passed one too many times. And I don't know, man, like, and it sucks. You get shut out. And now you're playing Ontario, and I don't think that's a particularly good matchup, and I don't think that they're long for this world in the playoffs. Now maybe they beat Coachella and get into the actual playoffs, and maybe that doesn't go well for them either. But I think they put themselves in the worst position to do any damage in these playoffs.
Net front presence recognizing my sneezes. Thank you. Molasses to your point, saying the Cuda are 7-1 against Coachella this season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they haven't been good. Ontario's had their number for the most part.
Well,
Ontario's
it's been if I remember correctly, I think the season series between the Cuda and the Reign, I think it's like 3-4 or something like that.
But
so
the games they've lost have been ugly.
The games they've lost have been ugly. Now, here's the good news.
Mm-hmm.
They have a better record at Ontario. They've only won one game versus Ontario in San Jose, but they've won more times down south. So with
it'll be
all
interesting.
3 games
it'll
being
be
done
interesting. Yeah, again, so 2 games are going to be played in Crypto Arena, so they're used to playing in an empty, cavernous arena. So some Barracuda that they're going to feel right at home. Will they actually? It's been a while now. Texas has been open. Maybe not. I don't know. It sucks, right? I think that the Barracuda. The other problem is obviously the Barracudas. They need Thomas Bordeleau back desperately. And obviously Podorowski too, but I feel like Bordeleau is probably the more likely of the 2 to be ready for game 1. I think another problem they had tonight was I don't think Philip Beestead should be your number 1 center on this team, and that's the kind of the role he's been shunted into. They need Bordeleau back.
Yeah, that's again the thing that always has me kind of looking cross-eyed sideways at the Cuda this time of year is how is J-Mac going to deploy?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He's going to have some, because again, you have to balance development with who's going to get you the wins.
Right.
So I don't know. I haven't been impressed with Quentin Musty so far, but I don't know who you replace him with at this point either.
And it's been a week, and it's going to take a little time to settle in, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Will we have hockey in May? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I'm wrong about Askarov, and it is just an illness, and it's just been a run of shit luck for him. But because obviously, I think look at the Barracuda will go where Askarov drags them.
All right.
But if Gabe Perry has to play a bunch of playoff games, they're not long for this world at all.
All right. So with that, again, will we have San Jose hockey in May? Well, I guess we'll know by the end of the coming week. So Thursday is the game 1 down at Crypto. Saturday is game 2, and then if needed, Monday is game 3. Oh, it would be great if the Cuda won both the first 2 games and that's it, and they move on. But
yeah, we'll see. I don't know what the plan is for Barracuda games. I think they're doing after dark, but I can't. I'm not promising things that I will not personally be doing. So we'll stay tuned to the thing to find out what we're doing after the Barracuda games.
I'm gonna bet that at least after one of those, Eric or Jules or Lacey or somebody's gonna want to talk about it. But anyway, coming up this week, aside from that, nothing else unless some other player decides to call it a career. I don't know. Vlasic, what are you doing, dude?
No.
All right. So, and then finally, this is the final Pucknologist in its current iteration. I have some things to say. First off, I want to really say stick taps and thank you to the people. I went to the last 2 Barracuda games at TechCU and then went to this game last Wednesday against Edmonton at the Tank, and each one of those games had multiple people just have some really nice things to say about the podcast. So appreciate all of the people that took their time to even mention it. It's certainly better than going, hey, fuck you, dude. So that being said, I'm hopeful that this Sunday show evolves and gets even bigger.
Running it into the ground.
When I thought about things I wanted to say during my last time as the official host of the Sunday show, I initially considered burning down the house. Not going to lie. As in, let me tell you some things about you that you don't know. Whether it was the clout chasers or the clickbaiters, the borderline plagiarists that pass off others' work as their own, and I thought about it for a little longer and realized I don't care anymore. These people are already operating at a reputational deficit with the people that matter, and I'm not here to pile on. So I don't care. I'm just grateful I don't have to play the stupid games and win the stupid prizes. So for whoever cares, and why should you, my plan is to still occasionally be involved with Teal Town USA. I don't plan on being involved in a regular Sunday show going forward, whatever it evolves into. I hope it evolves into something way better, as I said, but it's just too demanding for my schedule. You wouldn't think by watching this show, you wouldn't think by watching that this actually takes time to prepare for, but it does. and it's just kind of demanding on my schedule. But I'm not opposed to jumping on an After Dark from time to time. That's not a problem. Being the second banana or a last-minute guest host, if needed, on an occasional Sunday, absolutely. But doing the regular Sunday grind for another season, I can't. So whatever it turns into, hey, Sundays at 7, that's our slot. So hopefully somebody takes the baton and runs.
Yeah, I'm gonna run with it. I've already decided. I mean, look, I want to say that I appreciate you allowing me to be the co-host this year.
Absolutely.
With my work schedule changing and kind of being like, I don't know how I'm going to contribute this year as much, because I think people know that I try to do as much as I can around here. So getting the opportunity to do this really solved that problem for me. So I do appreciate that a lot, because there's other people that you probably could have filled the spot with. So I'm glad it was me.
No, absolutely. And Rob saying, wish you lots of luck and focus on your health. My health is fine.
Yeah, he's not. He isn't dying. Like,
yeah,
he's got a cold.
Yeah, I got a cold right now. It's, but it's like I'm fine. It's just like I said. It's just this show is a bit of a demand on the schedule. So, like I said, I'm gonna be available to jump on After Darks. I'm probably gonna be involved with whatever we decide to do for the draft party. So we did it last year where we were there. We were showing off we were the only cast that had the new Fanatics jerseys to show off. So, we'll be there again. It's fine. So, anyway, that's not going to be a problem. I just want to thank everyone. I appreciate anyone who's ever watched this podcast, chatted with us during the Sunday shows. The only other thing I would just want to say is go outside once in a while. It's really nice out there. Leave the devices at home. Just go take a walk. So with that, anything else before we shut her down for the off season?
No, that's it. Puck Guy earlier pointing out that said that there would be Barracuda After Dark, so look forward to that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, there was the Sharks signed a defenseman, one of their prospects.
Leo.
Yeah, Leo Wallen. I have nothing on him. I think the plan was he signed his ELC, but he's going back to Europe, so I don't really have much to say on that. That's my understanding is he did sign his ELC, but he is going back to Europe. So I don't have anything really good. I apologize.
See, this show just takes a lot of time to prepare for. All right, everybody. And I know what Ian just said, but I can't thank Ian enough for riding or die with me this season. It's because I know that there's been certain Sundays where it's like, what the fuck are we going to talk about that we didn't talk about last week?
Oh, yeah.
More than I specifically remember a week of games where it's like 1 goal loss, 1 goal loss, 1 goal loss. And the following week, 1 goal loss, 1 goal loss, 1 goal loss. And it was like, okay, just replay last week. It's all the same problem.
Right. And then the Barracuda are like, win one, lose one, win one, lose one.
Exactly.
Just this season.
I'm telling you. So remember to like and subscribe, do all that stuff. Help keep us ad-free by using the super chat option during our live shows. Better yet, use Venmo, if you will. Find us at Teal Town USA. Special thank you to Mitya and Darius and Brightcar and Rob and Molasses for using the super chat option tonight. You can find links to our social media podcast apps and more included in the show notes. Find everything on tealtownusa.com. Good night. Have a pleasant playoffs. I hope you all win your brackets. Have a great off season and a great next season. Good night, everybody.